Hi, this is Chef Pachi, and today I have the first class of the beginners who've never gone into the kitchen because they've been working, they don't have time, and this is going to be the perfect way for them to start doing it right now. Class 1 on the basic 5 ingredients. Onions, we can have red onions, white onions, scallions. We could also have shallots or green onions, but we chose these. Garlic and bell pepper. These are going to be our 5 basic seasoning ingredients that we use for many of our recipes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel our onions. And I peel these in large slices, cutting the ends first. This is what I do. I cut it end to end and peel off all of that skin. Then I cut from top to bottom in half. Then I go again in half. Same thing here. And quarter each one. These are going to be large diced onions that I can use to saute, to bake, to make soup, to many recipes where the onion doesn't have to be sliced. Then I'm going to cut the other one exactly the same way in a mandolin because I want to make thin slices. Here go our thin slices with a mandolin. This is a mandolin that I use, an old mandolin. I love it. I mean, it's a $20 piece that you can have. You don't need to have many things. And that's it. In this third onion that wasn't at the beginning, I'm showing you in a second how to dice an onion. And here we cut the onion top to bottom and then half it so that we can have one of the ends of the onion stay there and hold our onion together. Slice it first, thinly from side to side, and then make 1 or 2 horizontal cuts. Then just slice it as if it were regular slices, and all those dice come falling off. Here we go with our second diced onion, cutting top to bottom, then cutting out one of the ends only, leaving the stem side so that it holds together when you slice it. Put it on your table, make thin, cut one of the ends, make thin cuts side to side, then cut 2 times horizontally, and then just slice. The dice come falling off in seconds. You don't have to dice your onion yet if you don't want to, because at the beginning we won't be using it a lot. We're going to just cut another onion like we did the first in large chunks, which will come apart in a while after they're in a bag. You can make sautés, you can bake them, you can use them, like I said, in soups, and we're going to use them with many recipes because onions, garlic, and bell peppers, as well as tomatoes, but tomatoes we don't have to chop ahead, are the basic ingredient in many of the recipes. They are aromatic, they are antiviral and antibacterial, by the way, and full of vitamin C. So here we have, with these 5 ingredients, an amazing array of food. Let's slice it top to bottom. For chunks or for slices, I do remove both stem sides because I won't need them to hold together. We're going to remove this little thing from the onion because that doesn't mean that the onion is bad. Actually, I think it was a little onion growing, a little bit of stem growing in there. And now we are going to slice it again in the mandolin. So what I suggest is that you take 1 onion and slice it, and then a second onion, you just cut it in 8ths and have both type of onions. Now here we go with our bell pepper. The first thing I do, I cut it differently. I just cut like the top without it going all the way through, and then just push out the heart with all the seeds. It had like a little one growing inside, growing into this bell pepper, and you see everything comes out of the bell pepper. Then we're going to cut the bell pepper. Bell peppers cut easier from the inside out. So you could also cut both ends like we did the onions and then just cut it in half and slice it. I don't know why I like cutting it like this, but in any case, we're just going to cut big chunks. Have your bell pepper, and if you're not gonna cook with it, or if you're gonna serve it raw to your kids, remove that white part because it's a little bitter. Otherwise, I just keep it there, cut it in chunks, and use it in soups and sauces, and it's gonna become almost unnoticeable when you cook with it. Then you cut it into chunks, and we're setting it aside like we're doing with the other vegetables that we're gonna all store and freeze so that we can cook without getting our counters, our kitchen, and our hands dirty every single day. This is just cutting ahead. Here I'm cutting in triangles, but you don't have to cut into triangles. I was just showing you. Maybe if you want to give it to your kids as a snack, you can give it into long pieces or in tiny triangles. Remember, with the white part. So I was talking to you about having all these foods ready so that during the week you do not have to be cutting and making all your kitchen dirty, and you can cook in minutes. I tell you, it's amazing how fast when you come into the kitchen and half of your work is done. It's fantastic not to have to start by peeling and cutting. And this took me 20 minutes. It's probably going to take you an hour at the beginning and then no time. And it took me 20 minutes because I had to be careful with the camera. Okay, so now we have our green onions or scallions. And normally I bought a huge bunch. This is a tiny bunch that I bought. Is enough for a week for most people. That's all we need. Green onions are fantastic to cook. They give a beautiful flavor to soups, to many sauces and salsas and dishes, and it's great. So we just chop the green and chop the white separately, basically because they have different textures and they're easier to cut together. But then I mix them up. Some people use the white parts to saute and the green for soups. I just mix them all up. I love green onions. I use tons of green onions. In Latin food, we do a lot. And I make soups at least twice a week, so I use them there too. Now, we chop the white part of the onion. Same thing, keep going, chop and store. Whenever you clean your green onions, if you have a lot, what you can do is try just pulling the papery-like part in the white side. Cut the stems, remove that papery white part from the ends, then give it a good wash and chop. You're ready to go. You see, I have a lot of green onions there. Now, you only need 1 head of garlic per week. We're doing 2, but basically what we do is you just smash it with a piece of cloth, open it up, and then remove all. It didn't smash very well, this one. It was very hard. But then you open it up and remove each one of your pieces of garlic. How do you get that garlic out of each piece without getting all of your hands dirty? Cut the ends, smash them again one by one, and immediately they come out. You do not have to peel the garlic per se. You see some of them come almost clean, but you want to remove, smash it, then you cut the end, and immediately they come out. Just press and they're coming out. That's it. So we're doing 2 heads of garlic because I don't know why I bought 2 heads of garlic today. I was trying to get everything for this video especially, but actually it's going to be a lot. You'll see. Here's a camera going fast because I didn't want this to take forever. And we have enough garlic, I would say, with these two heads for a whole month. You won't have to chop garlic anymore for a whole month. So here we go. Press once you have all the little garlic cloves out, and then chop. You can do this in a food processor. I usually do. You can watch the video where I process other foods that you don't eat right now, but you might want later, which is ginger and turmeric and a lot of those foods that I love to have, even sun-dried tomatoes, which I chop and freeze. Every time I get something amazing that I know that's going to give great flavor to my foods, I do that. I chop it, process it, and freeze it so that I keep it and I don't have things spoiling in my refrigerator. Most of them I process them, put them, like I told you, in a little bag, flatten them, and I break the pieces frozen. You can chop it more or less. I just leave it like that, a little big chopped, and I'm ready to go. Now we're going to pack these in Ziploc bags or zipper bags that are freezable bags. And these bags I reuse. I usually use 10 bags every month, and I reuse them. You're gonna see how what we did takes about a quarter of a bag of a quart size freezer bag. I do not freeze the garlic in freezer bags because they smell too much, and then I wash them and the smell doesn't come out. Here are our red onions, beautiful in chunks, made in minutes. Here we have our sliced red onions, beautiful. Then I chop them if I want them chopped, and you don't want to chop them. So I can use them both ways. Now we have our bell pepper chunks also in the bag. Check out the bags. I mean, it's amazing. We have 3/4 of a bag left in the bell pepper. Not that much. I'd say we have half of the bag left. Then in our green onion, we definitely have 3/4 of a bag or more left over. And in our garlic, where we have all the garlic we're going to need for a whole month with 2 heads of garlic, we are going to save it. Oops, we had forgotten the white onion chunks. So we're going to pack our white onion chunks also in a bag. And you see, I'm putting the garlic in a regular sandwich bag because, I mean, I won't reuse this one. And I tried the silicone bags, but the smell doesn't come out. So this is why I use these, but I reuse most of them. So I'm not wasting like a lot of plastic. I usually use the containers, also the big containers that you just saw, the plastic containers, because I'm cooking all the time and I'm making recipes and videos, and I mean, I have to do much more than this. And here I have some of the herbs. Like I said, I bought one. I dry them in the refrigerator, and there's a whole video on how to do each one of them. You're gonna love it because you can buy your fresh herbs and never have them waste or spoil in your kitchen. Because remember, with Chef Pachi, now I'm showing you an extra ingredient, and that's because here in the Caribbean and the Pacific coast of the tropical zone, we get those little teeny peppers that are kind of like shishito peppers that I use a lot. And the first thing I do is I remove the stem, and then I cut them, and then I wash them. I don't cut them one by one because they're tiny. And that is the way that I get out all of the seeds. Otherwise, I'd have to peel one by one, and it's usually about 100 of these little peppers each month. And check it out, the seeds all come. They all come out of the tiny ají dulce, which is what we call it, sweet peppers. And they're tiny, tiny peppers of all colors, delicious. This was an extra ingredient I just wanted to show you for those people that like to use them. Really easy. You can freeze them in these little things too if you want to. They might take up more space, but those I'm going to use today. That's why I put them in that container. Okay, so now I wanted to show you that I make a soup of with all of these ingredients from the freezer to the pot. I also use them to bake along with other vegetables that I don't freeze, and I have them there always so that all of my food can get made in seconds. Remember, with Chef Pachi, delicious food, amazing mood. Enjoy!